Okay, let's talk about economics. Now, I know it's a word that can sound kind of complicated, maybe a little intimidating, but forget all the complex charts and graphs for a second. The truth is, you're already an expert in economics because you practice it every single day. At its heart, it's really just the science of choice. So let's pull back the curtain and see how it all really works.
Just think about all the things you want. Like, right now, would you like a new car? Or, hey, how about a bigger bedroom?
Maybe something a little less material, just a bit more free time. And I think we can all agree on this one. How about more money? Yeah, the answer to pretty much all of these is a big, loud yes. And that is the fundamental problem of everything, isn't it? Our wants are, for all practical purposes, unlimited. As soon as you get one thing, you start wanting something else. But the stuff we have to get those things, our time, our money, our energy, those things are definitely limited. This core conflict, this basic tension in all of our lives, has a name. It's called scarcity. And it is the single most important idea that everything else in economics is built on. So what is scarcity? It's just that simple imbalance. We have unlimited wants, but limited resources. And it's really important to get this. Scarcity is not the same as poverty. It's a universal human condition. It affects everyone. From a student trying to decide between buying a textbook or going out for dinner, all the way up to a billionaire deciding which major company to buy. We all have to make choices because of it. So if we're all facing this problem of scarcity, what do? Well, we're forced to make choices. And that's all economics is. It's the science that studies how we humans make those choices.
There's this classic definition from an economist named Lionel Robbins that just nails it. It sounds a little academic, but stick with me. He said economics studies the relationship between our ends, that's just all the stuff we want, and our scarce means, that's the limited stuff we have to get it. The key part is that our resources have alternative uses. That hour of your time, you could use it to work, to study, or to sleep. You can't do all three. Economics is simply the study of how you make that choice.
Now, this science of choice basically breaks down into two big fields. First, you have microeconomics. The micro gives it away, right? It's the small-scale stuff. It's the study of your choices, my choices, the decisions of individual families and companies. Then you zoom all the way out, and you get macroeconomics. This is the big picture stuff you hear about on the news, things that affect the whole country, like inflation, unemployment rates, and economic growth. So when we're making all these choices, what are we actually working with? Well, it turns out that every economy in the world, no matter how simple or complex, is built from the same four basic ingredients. Think of them like the flour, water, salt, and yeast for creating absolutely everything. These are what we call the four factors of production. First up, you've got land. And that doesn't just mean a plot of dirt, it means all natural resources, water, oil, forests, you name it. Then you need labor. That's the human effort, both the physical muscle and the mental brain power. Third, you've got capital. These are the tools we build to make us more productive, everything from a simple hammer to a giant factory, or even the knowledge in your head. And finally, the secret sauce, entrepreneurship. This is that special human skill of taking the other three ingredients, combining them in a new way, and taking the risk to create something valuable. All right, now we get to what is, I think, the most powerful and important idea in all of economics. Seriously, when you make a choice, what does it really cost you? Because the answer isn't what's on the price tag. The real cost of any choice is its opportunity cost. This is the idea that the true cost of something isn't the money you spend, it's the value of the next best alternative you had to give up. Every single choice you make is haunted by the ghost of the road not taken. That ghost is your opportunity cost. Let's make this crystal clear. Imagine a landowner with a single plot of land. They've done their homework and have three options. They could build a shopping center and make $10 million in profit. They could build a housing estate and make $8 million, or they could build an office block for $5 million in profit. Now, the most profitable option is pretty clear, right? It's the shopping center. So here's the big question. If you choose to build that 10 million rupee shopping center, what is the opportunity cost? It's not 10 million. So what did you really give up to get that profit? Take a second and think about it. The answer is 8 million rupees. Why? Because opportunity cost is about the single best alternative you sacrificed. By choosing the shopping center, the most valuable thing you gave up was the chance to earn 8 million from the housing estate. That lost profit, that is the true economic cost of your decision. It's a powerful idea. Okay, so let's take this concept of choice and cost and scale it all the way up. Instead of just one person, let's think about an entire country. It turns out that every single society on Earth, no matter its government or culture, has to answer three huge economic questions. First up, what are we going to make? With our limited resources, do we focus on producing more cars or more hospitals, more consumer gadgets or more food? We simply can't have it all, so we have to choose. The second big question is, how are we going to make all this stuff? Should our factories rely on massive amounts of human labor, or should we invest in robots and automation? Should our farms be small, family-run operations, or huge industrial corporations? And finally, maybe the most difficult question of all, for whom are we making it? Once we've produced all these goods and services, who actually gets to have them? Do we distribute them equally, or do they just go to whoever can afford to pay the highest price? And here is the real takeaway. The way a society decides to answer these three questions, what, how, and for whom, that is the very definition of its economic system. Whether you call it capitalism, socialism, or anything in between, it all comes down to the answers to those three questions. So now that you get the basics, scarcity, choice, and cost, I'll just leave you with one last thing to think about. What was the opportunity cost of spending these last few minutes here with me? What was the next best thing you could have been doing with your time? The fact that you're even asking that question, well, that means you're already thinking like an economist. Thanks for tuning in.